Hello, today I'm going to talk a lot about taking B site on Overpass, because a lot of people don't really talk about Overpass or how to deal with it. So I've decided to make a video on how to do it. So let's actually begin by walking through all the smokes and flashes you can throw all the way into B, So first we're gonna go through here. We're gonna show you everything you can do here. We can show you everything you can do in this area. And you go through here into water. Then we can show you everything here. And then we're gonna go back to monster, and there's not really much there, really. And then we're gonna go to B site itself, and yeah, okay. So first of all, first thing you can really do is this wooden pallet here. You can use this for a lot of things. You can use this to flash your teammates that are going through into water. You can use this to flash your teammates because they're going to go through here, and CTs, the timing is just enough for them to get to here before you get out. So either the guys that are going through are going to throw like that, not like that, no, they're going to throw through like that, which really it should land somewhere around there, and that they're not going to be able to dodge that. Or if you also want to flash the boost spot here, because they'll be looking like this, they'll be seeing you, but they won't be seeing the flashbang, and they won't be flashed as much. So a better way of doing that is lining yourself up to the middle of this pallet, and then you see this corner here, and then up to the wire. You have to aim at the middle of that, or you could aim at the top bit here and then cross-section it with the, not cross-section it, but cross it with the line there, and then you're just gonna walk, hold on shift, and move forwards and throw. That's a walking throw. That's gonna pop right there. They're gonna be flashed back here. They're gonna be flashed back here, and most of all, they're gonna get flashed while boosting over here because it pops right there. All right, now let's move on to the second thing you can do with this pallet. You can move on top of it. I saw Cloud9 do this in a game. It was actually nothing to complain about it, but this is a consistent way of throwing it so it doesn't miss. You see this pole here? There's a tiny little section there. That's the compensator, I believe it is. Just aim below that, between the building, and just aim between the building and that compensator and throw. Don't do moving anything, and that'll go right over there, and that'll land right there. So anyone who's standing here waiting for that is gonna have to move back, so they can't get vision on there. So that's what you can do with that. Just remember, a lot of people are just gonna be like, "Oh, I need to flash into water." This is a lot about teamwork. Just telling your teammates, "All right, just go into water. Trust my flashbangs," and then you just line up here and line up there. You have to practice. You have to practice it a few times just to get it right. And yeah, that's what you can do with that wooden pallet. Now let's move on to actually doing smokes for the B site. Now there's three ways of smoking off the B site. There's this, and there's one that lands right about there, or you could throw the one that lands actually in here. Those are the three really smokes, and it's either this one or this one, because this one also smokes off down here in this is the water too. That is water too, but that smokes off this area. Now my team prefers to place a smoke there that then smokes off heaven as you're going in, and then they molly this position off, just so they have to get that position back. Those are two ways of doing that. I'll just show you. I won't show you how to throw this smoke because I don't know. I'm not on the team I'm not a part of the team that needs to know it. But I'll show you how to throw the molotov. You aim to the corner of this, and then you aim all the way up to the white part of the bridge, and then you just throw, and that should land right there. And that won't interfere with a smoke that's just landing there. That'll get out a little bit, but the molly is gonna land right about there, and that'll molly off this position, so they can't stand there. They have to move back here to toxic, which is also molotoved. For that, you just need to No, that's not it. You have to just Where the fuck do you... Oh yeah, I remember. You line up here, and then you can use this bit of rebar and aim at the top, between the top two wires there, like on Dust 2 with the CT smoke that I showed in my 37 useful things on Dust 2. You can go Molotov, and then you can just do a running throw or a walking throw. Either one will work. I prefer to do a running throw, just because it's more consistent. And that's going to pop right back in Toxic. So if you Molotov Toxic, let's just make that last a little bit longer. And you Molotov here, the players basically either have to move up here, in which players are, you know, gathering in around them, or they have to move back here into water, which is easy to deal with, because you can have people pushing up here and pushing up here at the same time. Now, let's talk about smoking off the main positions. Let's talk about Heaven first. You can just smush yourself into this corner here, and then you aim at that exact corner there. You just aim there or there. It's really a pixel difference, and there's not much of a pixel difference there. Just aim, sit into this corner here, aim at the corner, and then throw. And that bounces right in and smokes it off. They can't see shit from up here, so they're gonna have to move into graffiti and have a very, very, very difficult time recapturing the bomb site. You can Molotov that from that position as well. You can just Molotov it, like so. I was just guessing the timing, but that doesn't really, you know, go in. So I prefer to line up with here, and then aim at the middle of this. Aim at the middle of this little square here, and then do a running throw. That sort of goes in a little bit better. You can aim a little bit higher and do a further running throw. So just aim a little bit higher there, do a further running throw, and that'll go in a little bit further. You won't miss that as long as you throw it before it's supposed to hit that bit, because even that was cutting it a bit close. So let's talk about smoking this off. There's 3 ways that I personally know. There's this one, where you have to aim at the bottom layer. Make sure you don't hit this wall, but that'll bounce and that'll land right there. That'll smoke it off pretty well. Then there's this one, where you look at this little square here, cut it in half, and you stand in the middle of that second half, and then you just aim at the bottom of this round circle here, aim at the bottom of that. That bounces and lands right there. It lands a little bit closer than the other one. And then the last one is aiming. You just smush yourself in here. You get player clipping. You get player clipping on both sides. So just remember to just slide yourself in, and then this big pole here in the middle. Just aim at the top of that and throw. That'll bounce there and bounce right over there. Now if you want to actually throw this smoke and not this deep smoke here, you can actually throw that deep smoke. I actually know how to do it. I just remembered. Shh, don't talk about it. You could just stand on top of here and aim to the left of this thing. You gotta aim pretty far left. With my specific crosshair, I have to aim at the tip of my crosshair, and then like 3 pixels, and then that's a nade. Shut up. Shh, 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 shh. And aim there. Just aim at the tip, and it goes, and that'll bounce off of this and land right there. There we go. And that'll, as you're moving up, you use the pillar to smoke it off, and then you stand here. And anyone moving up short don't have to deal with that position. So that's really if you want to smoke off the gauntlet, because you can also smoke this off if you really want to. You can smoke that off, and smoke that off, and then you can just get the plant, and you move back to short, and just hold the connector and stuff like that. That's a strat in there somewhere. I don't know how to throw this though. I haven't really played this game. I haven't really played this for a very long time. So the other way to throw that one is just mush yourself into the corner behind this thing. It's a little bit difficult to get to, but you just aim at the tip of it and then throw. And that'll land in the exact same spot as the other one. Now if you want to throw the actual one that my team uses, you just aim at the middle of the white line there, and that bounces right back there. You can aim at the red top or whatever too. Although their one lands sort of there-ish, which I never really get because that doesn't line it up. It's sort of there. Oh, no, I have no idea. But that is a way of throwing that. So yeah, that's that. There's also flashbangs you can do. You can do it from here. You can throw smoke. You can just aim. There's this. Use the corner of this stone and this shadow. Just stand at the shadow where the corner is pointing through. Stay crouched, and there's this little shape here. Like when you're about to throw the stairs smoke, there's this little shape here, this little triangle. You just aim at the middle of that and then a little bit to the left. Stay crouched and throw. And that's gonna land right there. And it smokes it off slightly better than the one from all the way back there. But the closer it is, the better smoke tends to be. Because the less accuracy you have to have. You can also smush yourself all the way in. Let's see if I can actually remember this. Yeah, it's there, and then you can throw, like, is it that, or is it further to the left? No, yeah, it's further to the right. Okay. That one's really accurate because it's not really on a line or something that's really noticeable. So there's the middle of this, and then there's the half of that. Good. You just divide it in two halves. And that's how you throw that smoke. There you go. So you can throw that smoke, this smoke, and that smoke, and then you have the entire smoke site smoked off. Just plant in here, or plant here, and then move back to short and monster, and you just hold the site from that. In addition to those, none of those actually block off this Molotov and this Molotov. And if you really, that's 5, or you could have a guy throwing the smoke, also throwing Molotov, and then you have one guy looking out. That's also really good, but that's roughly everything I know about B-site overpass. I'm still working on A-site overpass, but that's a lot of good stuff. So let's just quickly run over everything again. So there's a flashbang lined up at the middle here, between that and that. So just walking through. That'll pop right there. Flash anyone holding this. This or the boost. Then there's the Molotov from almost the same position. Just aim at the last wooden pallet, stand on top of it, and aim at the capacitator between the building and the capacitator. Just throw. That'll land right there, stopping any CTs who are playing aggressive, rushing in, etc. And then you can throw the smoke that lands onto the site. You just aim farther, there we go. And that'll land on top of the site right there. Or and there's 3 ways of throwing the smoke that smokes off short. It's aiming at the bottom line and then there. That's one. And then there is cutting this in half, like I said. Cutting that in half, standing in the middle, and then aiming at that. The bottom of this little bubble thing there. And then that'll bounce into the same spot. A little bit further in, but basically the same thing. And then you smash between these 2 circles and top there, and then just throw. And that'll bounce off the pillar and land at the exact same spot. Good. Now, there's also the other way of throwing those 2, the other smoke there. You just mush yourself behind this gate and aim at the top and throw. And that'll bounce and land right there. Missed a little bit. And then there are a few things you can do with the smoke. You can aim at the corner of the stone, go to the shadow, stay crouched, aim at this little rectangle here, and then aim in the middle of this little rectangle, or square, yeah, and then aim at the middle and a little bit to the left. Throw that, and that lands right there. So that'll block off heaven. Those 2 smokes that I showed over here, by the way, they block off as you're going from short. They block off toxic barrels, that area, water area, and it blocks off heaven if you're coming from here and here. So that's very good. It doesn't block off heaven for this little bit here. Actually, no, none of these smokes do, I believe. That smoke. Yeah, no, there's a tiny gap here where you're going to be seen from heaven regardless. Then there's the Molotovs. There is this one where you just sit in this corner here, aim from the corner of this bigging? God damn it, a little bit Norwegian, but building, and then aim up, up, up to the white bit. You can also follow this little line here. There's a little pipe in the background. Follow that up, and then just throw, and that'll land right there. And this smoke won't get rid of that. So people holding here are going to have to move. In addition to that, you can throw the Molotov from here, and which you can use this little rebar here. Aim between the top two things, and then just do a running or walking throw. And that'll land right behind Toxic, so you have a Molotov there and on Toxic. That'll get rid of anyone. Then, there's a smoke back here again. You can sit there, and you can aim this little square here. Just aim at the middle, and then at the half of that middle, and then throw. And that will miss completely, because I didn't do it right. I believe it's the wrong square. It's that one, right there. Yeah, that was the right one. And that'll bounce right into there, and that will smoke off these two positions and heaven if you're going from this side, but I don't see why you want to do that if you're doing the full execute. You can just Kentucky weld it into both sides of graffiti, because that's pretty easy to throw into there. You actually just hide through here. Also, you always have to look out for the two boosts, which is here and here. There's also ways to flash the sight, which I haven't shown you. You could just flash the sight. Just Kentucky windage flash the sight, because it's really open sight, sort of. There is a way to just smush up here, and then you can throw it there, and then just flash. Same position you threw the other one. That'll pop right there. It won't flash heaven, but it'll flash graffiti. It'll flash the site. It'll flash Toxic. But the only positions it won't flash are that and that. But that's very difficult to do anyway. I wonder if you do that with a running one. Aim a little bit higher. Do that with a running one. Nope, not like that. Nope, not like that. There. That bounces off the fucking building. Ah, shit. Oh well. So, those are actually all the things that you can do on B-Site. Actually, all the things you need to do. You can do a lot of things. Now, where the fuck did I put it in? There we go. Let's just plant the bomb here. Give myself some limited time. You can plant inside the bucket, by the way, to hide the thing. Just plant inside the bucket to hide the beep. It'll be seen from that side, but anyone who'll be seeing from this side will be like, oh, it's planted on the very side. Where the fuck is heaven? It's here. Anyone looking from here will be like, oh, it's planted on the site. Anyone coming from short will be like, oh, it's definitely in that bucket. You can also plant it behind the bucket, which also hides it because the back of the bucket hides it. I think that's actually better, just planting it behind the bucket. So, yep, that's the end of this. Also, it's just a small tip for CT side. You can just throw a smoke over there, and that'll smoke off here if there are any terrorists rushing. But yeah, that's everything you can do on Overpass. I hope you practice these smokes. You can watch the video back if you want to practice the smokes. And yeah, that's it. That's it, really. I'll see you in the next video. What does that do? Absolutely nothing.